Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Supporting Women's Wellbeing with Essential Oils. So I've just muted our participants so that we can get started. This evening I'll be running through quite a number of essential oils that can support our health as women. And to help me demonstrate this, I'll just take you through my slideshow. So I'll just share that with you now. So my name is Theda, and I own a business called Wellbeing. My background is in environmental science and environmental health, as well as sustainability. And in more recent times, I've been studying essential oils and using them myself. So Wellbeing, I've had that business for 5 years and been helping people through all sorts of wellness issues through different modalities. And in the last 2 years, I've been using essential oils as part of this support. And this presentation is one of a series of presentations I'll be doing each Monday. And if you want to see any replays, you can go and have a look at my YouTube channel and you can see all the videos there. So just to get started with women's wellness and essential oils. Essential oils form part of a holistic approach to wellness. So as you can see there on the right, we have a whole range of lifestyle and medical interventions that we can use to support our well-being. Now, as women, we can have a healthy and fulfilled and uninterrupted lifestyle even as we go through our hormonal changes in life. These are completely natural and they don't have to be something that really stops us in our tracks. That is if we have a holistic approach to our well-being. So this includes diet and exercise. We've all heard these biggies. So eating the right things for our bodies, and we are all individual in this way. Making sure we are managing our stress. Now this is a really big one at the moment for a lot of people all over the world where we've been thrown into this uncertain time. And we also need rest to replenish ourselves and to allow our bodies to go through the cleaning and regenerative processes while we sleep. We also need to be mindful of our toxic load. So this is reducing things like synthetic products in our lifestyles and in our food products as well. And then, of course, we do need health or medical interventions from time to time. We couldn't go through life without these in our modern lifestyles. And these are very supportive for our health, but we do need to be informed. So we do want to be able to take some control of our own health and well-being without simply taking the directions of a doctor, without understanding why we're doing the things we're doing and how we can support ourselves in other ways in our lifestyle alongside medical interventions. So as I mentioned, we do go through stages in our life as women, and these are a lot to do with hormonal changes. So right from puberty, when we first enter the menses, and right through to the menopause phase, we can have happy and healthy lives that are alongside these changes and not interrupted by these changes. But we all have different symptoms with these hormonal changes in our lives. So how do we know if we are imbalanced? Well, there's a few things to consider. There are a number of causes of hormonal imbalances. These include what you eat, your stress response, and toxins or hidden toxins in our lifestyles. And so as you can see on the right, these cause a whole range of symptoms and outcomes for us. Weight gain, PMS, and erratic periods, bad skin, achy joints, poor sleep, irritability, mood swings, weight gain, and the list goes on. Hot flushes, night sweats, difficulty sleeping. And for some women, there are genetic components that play a role in these as well and how severe they are. But we can actually influence these things through that lifestyle that we talked about. So where do essential oils fit in this pyramid of well-being? Well, they actually fit in everywhere except when we go to the medical care portion at the top. So right through from what we eat, we can put them into our food, right through to exercise, so using them to promote and motivate us for exercise or soothe aching joints after exercise and muscles, through to stress management and relaxation and reducing toxin loads, so replacing some toxic products with natural essential oil products, and also informed self-care, so using them as a self-care product alongside any medical interventions or before we might go to these. But it is important to note that we want to use essential oils correctly. There are precautions to take, and just because they're natural, it doesn't mean that there are no side effects that can come up if we use them incorrectly. So making sure that you're seeking advice from someone who's experienced with both understanding the oils and using the oils is important. And we want to avoid synthetic grade oils or even food grade oils in some cases, and we want to make sure that they are therapeutic grade oils with third-party testing that we can really rely on to make sure that there's nothing contaminating the oil that will cause us some toxic load and won't give us any therapeutic benefits. So now I'll go through a whole range of oils and I will briefly just describe the ways that they can actually support women's health in particular. Now, they can obviously be used in some cases. There's some of these oils for general family use, so everyone can use them, but I'll just mention some of the ways that they can support women's health in particular. So clary sage is a classic one associated with women's health, and historically it has been used to balance hormones, and it can also be used to ease tension. So things like menstrual cramping, it can be useful to apply this to the lower abdomen at these times, and it can just help to soothe those effects. It also lifts our mood. So we might be feeling low or we might be experiencing mood swings from our hormones. So this one can actually help us lift out of any negative feelings that we're having. Lavender. Lavender is such a versatile oil, and it is a really big part to play in our stress management. So lavender can be used to de-stress. It can also be used to help us to sleep. There is also a blend called Lavender Peace, which is really specifically for sleep support. And so this can be used aromatically in a diffuser like I've got here for these situations. It also normalizes or helps to normalize hormone levels. So this is another great one for women's health in this way. Geranium supports the endocrine system, and it is also another calming oil, and it is a phytoestrogenic oil. So what this means is that it is a plant estrogen. And this can help to balance the hormone levels. If we're low in estrogen, it can help to gently balance those estrogen levels for us when they start to diminish. Calm is a specific doTERRA blend, proprietary blend that is specifically for monthly use. So for women's menstrual cycle. So if you're having any discomfort or any of those symptoms associated with our monthly cycle, you can use this one to balance those out. So applying it directly to our lower abdomen, just smelling the oil from the bottle, and it is really beneficial for all of those symptoms. Now, another one that's great for mood is elevation or joyful blend. So again, we can go through those times where our mood is dipping and peaking, and we want to just level that out or bring it up. So joyful blend is another beautiful one to use at those times. Or even if there's feelings of anger or resentment that can come later in life when we go through the menopause. Balance. So again, another emotional support one. And this is a grounding blend. So maybe we feel like we're just running hot, we're flying off the handle, and we know this is our hormones reacting, it's not us. And we just want to bring that down, back into our bodies, back into our true selves, back to our heart, and just allowing that to calm and be more rational in those times where we just realize this isn't us, just the hormones. Frankincense. This is a great one, a very broad spectrum one that we can use for many, many things. So frankincense is also called the king of oils, and it is a go-to oil. And there's a little saying that goes, if in doubt, get the frankincense out. So it really is one that can be used for so many different ailments and different symptoms, and to support our general well-being. So why not use it for our women's health as well? And it does support that cellular function. Fennel. This one does support, and there is some evidence to show that it supports estrogen production. So again, when we're going into periods where our estrogen is starting to dip, that perimenopause or the menopausal phase, going into there, it can help to ease some of those symptoms of the changes. So just to bring those estrogen levels up. And it also supports lactation. So obviously if you're breastfeeding, it's something, if you're not having that flow coming in, then it's something you can use. And I will just mention later on a few notes about pregnancy and breastfeeding times as well, just some precautions to take. Lemon. So lemon is a great one for detoxification. It is a gentle detoxifier. This is similar to a lot of the citrus oils, or most of them. And it's also supporting of the gastrointestinal tract. And this also helps with hormonal balancing or even hormonal production if our GI tract is healthy. And it helps with detoxing excess hormones as well. So we don't want too many extra hormones floating around our bodies, that it might need some help and assistance just to get rid of some of those. And it also has uplifting effect again, so a good mood uplifter, and it helps us to focus too. If there's a bit of brain fog going on, it can bring out that focus for us. Oregano. Oregano is a very powerful antiviral, antibacterial agent. A lot of precaution to take here. It is one that will actually irritate or even burn the skin if you apply it directly. So just making sure that if you are using oregano on your skin, you're diluting it very well with a carrier oil, so a fractionated coconut oil, sweet almond oil, apricot kernel oil, any carrier oil. And if we are using it in the diffuser, that's fine. Just use it as normal with the water. If we're taking it internally, use great precaution here. Use one drop only and only use it for a few days at once. It is a very powerful antiviral, antibacterial, antipathogenic oil, and it will, if you don't dilute it at all into food, it can actually burn in your mouth. So just be very careful with using this one. And these are some of the things why we need to make sure we're asking someone who knows what they're doing with these oils before we go and use them. So when you're diffusing oregano, it has a positive mood effect, so it's uplifting your mood, as well as relaxing. So it's making you feel good, but not too on edge or something like that. So it's kind of a really good balancing one. It's also been shown to support progesterone production or balance. And if you are going through the menopause and there are any sort of negative feelings coming up with that, it does actually help on the emotional level to clear the negativity in your emotions. Peppermint. So peppermint again is a great all-round one for the whole family. In general, it is digestive aid, so you might know about drinking peppermint tea for digestion. This one can be used in water as a tea, so just one drop, and that one will be great for digestive support. It's also relaxing for the muscles if applied as a massage, and also great for headaches, relief of headaches if that's a symptom for you during your cycle. Just a little applied to the back of the neck and on the temples will help you with easing those headaches. And you can apply it directly or you can dilute again with the carrier oil. Bergamot, so another citrus one. So again, with the uplifting mood effects that the citruses have for us. This one can also ease that muscle tension, so using it as a massage for any cramping or anything like that. And again, can be used as a massage on any muscles that are tense. Could be combined with the peppermint for headache as well. Melaleuca, or more commonly known by us Kiwis as tea tree. This one is, I believe, an Australian tea tree species. And really, Melaleuca is brilliant for immunity support. So as I mentioned before, when our immunity is good, or our GI tract, which is where a lot of our immunity is housed, if that is healthy and our immunity is healthy, then our hormone balance can be supported through that proper detoxification. Cedarwood. So cedarwood has, again, another hormonal one. It helps us to balance our hormonal levels. And it's a really nice grounding one as well, being a nice woody scent. Ylang ylang, very exotic, pungent, fragrant, floral scent, this one. And it really helps to ease stress, so getting down those cortisol levels, as lavender does as well. There was actually some studies done, and it showed that lavender in particular was one that really dramatically lowered cortisol levels, so the stress hormone, when it was smelled aromatically, delivered aromatically. So these really are quite powerful. And again, this one, ylang ylang, is a phytoestrogenic oil, meaning that it mimics estrogen. So if you are lower in estrogen, this can help to boost that up if it's needed. Roman chamomile. This one again is great for stress, so it's really relaxing. It's a nice floral, sweet scent, this one. And it can ease muscle tension, so again, any cramping, it can help with those symptoms. And one other product that I just wanted to mention in the doTERRA range, this one is a small capsule. So this is completely vegetable based. It's all essential oils in a veggie cap. And this one helps to support our hormone balance throughout our life as women. So I mentioned some of those phytoestrogenic essential oils, and this one has a whole range of those in there for you. So just to give you an idea, you're taking one during most of your life, so once you're getting your menstrual period, and then right through until perimenopause, and then you're taking 2, I believe, every day once you're in the menopause phase. And this is really just helping you to balance the hormones, just gently assisting. So I did mention I was just going to talk about a few things to do with pregnancy and essential oils, because obviously this can be a part of a woman's life. And there are some precautions to take. So I just didn't want to leave you with the impression that all of the oils I mentioned were safe at all times of our life. There are some that are safe and actually very supportive of our pregnancy. I won't go into too many details about this. This could be a whole nother presentation. But just wanted to mention that there are some that we do not want to take or use or be around too much while we are pregnant. And then there are some that we don't want to be around in pregnancy, but once we're breastfeeding, we maybe do, and then there's others we don't. So you just have to be very careful about what oils you're using at what time and get some professional advice about this. And obviously working alongside your healthcare provider, your doctor, your GP, or your midwife to make sure that these are compatible for your pregnancy in particular. I would caution to probably avoid all essential oils during the first trimester, or especially the early stages, the first few weeks, 2 months, just because that baby is so small and these essential oils are very potent, and so any of the properties that we receive that are positive could potentially have not positive effects on a fetus. So just making sure that we to take extra precaution, just avoid using them during those first couple of months of pregnancy. And then once we are in the second trimester and beyond, we can use them to support our pregnancy, but again, use with caution and make sure you're talking with an experienced practitioner about how to use them and what ones to use and avoid. And it is especially important in pregnancy to make sure that we're only using pure therapeutic grade oils like the doTERRA oils that are third-party tested and assured that there's nothing except what is on the label is in the bottle, no herbicides, pesticides, no fillers, nothing synthetic. And also that they're therapeutic grade so that we're getting the benefits and no negative side effects. And as I mentioned there, and I mentioned before that different oils can be supportive postpartum, so once we're breastfeeding, and can be supportive of baby as well. And I may do a future presentation on these. So that's the end of my presentation, and I'd like to offer anyone that's watching a free or complimentary 30-minute essential oil consultation. So I'll just leave my email address up there, thedahall@gmail.com, if you'd like to get in touch. Or if you found this via Facebook, feel free to message me there. And now I'd just like to invite, I'll just unmute our guest, and if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer those. So as I mentioned, there are a whole range of oils that I went through all here. So I'll just show you some of them in bottles. So for example, the clary sage comes in the doTERRA one, comes in a 15 ml, and this one has 250 drops. So that's around about 250 doses. So you're getting a lot of doses per bottle. And then we have ones that come in roller bottles, so they're 10 ml, and this one is, for example, lavender. And these ones are rollers, so they can just be rolled directly onto the skin, just rolled on, or maybe on the décolletage so the smell comes up, or on an area of concern if it's for the skin, or on the lower abdomen if there's cramping or something that you're wanting to influence, or in that area as well for anything to do with hormonal balancing, unless it's described otherwise or how to do it. And this was the Clary Calm blend that was the Woman's Monthly blend that had a whole range of those oils in there for you already mixed. And it includes the clary sage, and it includes lavender, bergamot, Roman chamomile. So as you can see, all these ones we've mentioned, ylang ylang, cedarwood, geranium, carrot seed, which is another one, and palmarosa, and vitex. So it's got some that I didn't mention, but most of the ones that I did. And that one you would apply again to the lower abdomen to administer that one. And with these ones, they are mixed already with fractionated coconut oil, so they can go directly onto the skin. But however, this blend is not mixed with the fractionated coconut oil. So if you did develop any skin sensitivity to it, which can happen just because they're quite potent, you might want to just apply the coconut oil first and then apply the roller. And I did mention that another way to administer the oils is through a diffuser. So doTERRA have a range of a few different types of diffusers available as well. So if there's no more questions, we will end that there, and thank you very much for joining me, those that did pop on, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. If you're watching the replay, please just put it in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you next Monday for our next session.